sleepless nights. You came so early. Yeah, just water is good, my white water bottle. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Can you give them a songbook? Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopidana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Padivatikacharya Asasata Shishi Matis Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Padivatikacharya Asasata Shishi Matis Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Anatakoti Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Yamuna Devi Ki Ganga Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Sankirtan Yagya Ki Gaur Premanandi all glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 74, Text 35. Varnashrama Kula Petaha Sarvadharma Bahishkritaha Svaira Varti Gunayarhina Sarparyam Kattam Arhati Vanashrama Kala Petaha Sarvadharma Bahishkritaha Svaira Varta Gunayarhina Saparyam Katam Arhati. Please chant. Ladies? Oh, sorry. La Peta Dharma Bahiskrita Svayavarti Gunarhina Sarpayam Katam Arhati. Varna of the principles of the four occupational orders of society. Ashrama of the four spiritual orders. Kala and a proper family upbringing. I'm sorry, that was Kula, sorry. Apeta, devoid. Sarva, from all. Dharma, codes of religious duty. Bahikrita, excluded. Svara, independently. Varti, behaving. Gunai, qualities. Hina, lacking. Saparyam, worship. Katam, how. Arhati, deserves. Translation: how does one who follows no principles of the social and spiritual orders or of family ethics, who has been excluded from all religious duties, who behaves whimsically, and who has no good qualities, how does such a person deserve to be worshipped? Okay, let's read that together. How does one who follows no principles of the social and spiritual orders or of family ethics, who has been excluded from all religious duties, who behaves whimsically, and who has no good qualities, how does such a person deserve to be worshipped? Purport by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada comments, actually, Krishna does not belong to any caste, nor does he have to perform any occupational duty. It is stated in the Vedas that the Supreme Lord has nothing to do as his prescribed duty. Whatever has to be done on his behalf is executed by his different energies. Shishupal indirectly praised Krishna by saying that he is not within the jurisdiction of Vedic injunction. This is true because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That he has no qualities means that Krishna has no material qualities, and because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he acts independently, not caring for conventions or social or religious principles. Jai. Om Agana Timarandasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Gena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Now, all of these statements in this continuing irate by Shishupal, later on you'll hear Shishupal says, when they were glorifying Krishna, he said, why their tongue doesn't split in half by them glorifying Krishna. So that's what we say, why his tongue doesn't split in half as he goes on several more verses just criticizing Krishna. Now what he's saying would be true for an ordinary person, but as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He acts independently, not caring for conventions or social or religious principles. So to impose, it's due to envy that we impose upon the Lord the rules governing human society. There are so many rules and regulations, for purification, for restraining ourselves. Otherwise, of course, nowadays, many people, the majority, they don't restrain themselves at all and engage in any kind of sinful activity and forget about, like here, about social and spiritual orders or religious duties, so acting whimsically, being led, by those who are blind and then following them. So this would be true for him. Now we're coming now to the end of the Rajasuya sacrifice. This is such a great sacrifice. Did you know that that right after this, we're going to hear in the next chapter how Duryodhana, he was so envious of when he saw at the Rajasuya, he saw the incredible opulence of the Pandavas, when finally after 13 years of exile and when they finally got their kingdom was just barren land. It was nothing. There was no prosperity whatsoever when they finally got their little share of the kingdom. And now it is so much prosperous. It said now, Yudhishthira's opulence now, it could not be extinguished in 100 years. So great it was. So I wanted to tell you how he got that opulence. You know that before Krishna instructed him to perform the Rajasuya, which establishes him as the monarch of the world. Now, again, Duryodhana was so envious that, and Shishupal said, okay, I'll help you perform the Rajasuya sacrifice so we can establish you and Dhritarashtra as you as the king. And then Karna went out and did the whole same thing for a whole year. And what's the same thing? Conquering. Like the 4 Pandavas, they went in all 4 directions and they conquered like all of the kings. Like if they wouldn't submit to Yudhisthira and gladly pay tribute to him, and they would give riches to show their support and to honor him. And so then Shishupal did also the kings that hadn't submitted. He did it. So there were cartloads of jewels and weapons and animals, like just a whole parade coming back to Indraprastha to give to Yudhisthira. So it was there were wonderful battles. Many people gladly submitted, but many didn't. And so they all fought, all 4 of the Pandavas. I mean, not Yudhisthira, because he was performing the sacrifice, getting ready for this. He was undergoing different kinds of austerities and all. So now we've been hearing about what happened at that Rajasuya sacrifice and how, when they were asking, and I thought that was interesting in a couple of verses ago, like when it was asked, who should be worshipped first? Who's the most worshipable person? And why didn't they all speak up? Imagine who was there. Lord Brahma was there. Narada Muni was there. And Srila Vyasadeva, Indra was there. Like all the great demigods were there. And why they didn't speak up? Because they wanted to give a chance to others. Bhima and Sahadev spoke up. But the thing is, it said that many of these Brahmins were less intelligent. They didn't even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and undisputably the one to be worshipped first. They didn't say that just to show how much they were like Brahmins in name, ritualistic Brahmins, and so that's why. So then in the Bhagavatam, we've read how Sahadev, Sahadev, I didn't know that before. He's very much known for his very keen ability for discriminating, analyzing different situations and coming to a great conclusion, figuring things out. He's very sharp in intellect. And so, but also who spoke too was Bhima when it was asked, all right, because in this sacrifice there is, I forgot. I just wanted to say one thing about Karna before I forget. That Karna, when he said he was doing that, he went to the Brahmins in the court there, and they said, you can't. There's only one Rajasuya sacrifice per monarch. So as long as Yudhisthira is alive, you cannot perform the Rajasuya. It can only be performed by one present king. And so he said, but you can perform another sacrifice, which is also very potent, a Vaishnav sacrifice that Krishna had performed. All right, so now when it was at everyone, so the Brahmins were also worshipped. It's just simply amazing how, it's just mind-boggling how they, like Yudhisthira, how he can accommodate hundreds and thousands of kings and demigods. And just like that, they have such a construction crew, that they can build palaces for their accommodations. And then what kind of incredible kitchen they must have, to cook all the very best food. And, just the organization of the Kshatriyas, how much they can accommodate. and all of these incredible personalities who came to see this. Even we saw the Kauravas, they came too, and then all of Krishna's wives came, and everybody, their wives came too. It was like thousands of people there to attend this. Now, so Yudhisthira, he in the beginning of the sacrifice, he said, "O Krishna, it is for you alone that this vast earth has been brought under my sway. Indeed, only by your grace has this been possible. I wish now to devote all my wealth to the Brahmins and to Agni, the carrier of sacrificial offerings. Please grant me permission to perform the Rajasuya sacrifice." Now, so the Krishna praised Yudhisthira, saying, you deserve, you're the one who deserve the imperial dignity without any doubt. So he said, I am just your servant, so please engage me what I can do in this great sacrifice. So different people had different duties to perform, which we did hear previously in the chapter. And so Yudhisthira, he started appointing people. He said Vyasadeva to take charge of the sacrifice. So Vyasadeva was the head priest in the sacrifice. And then Yajnavalkya, Soshama, Paila, and Domya, they were the rishis as his assistants. And together they constructed it. And then we know that Bhima was in charge of the kitchen, and it says that Sahadev. Let me see if it tells what everybody did. I know King Yudhisthira, he took charge of washing the feet of all the Brahmins, and we heard how Krishna he washed the feet of guests also at another sacrifice. Okay, now when Krishna, everyone was received, even and not only dwellings, but not only like thatched huts, but mansions to honor the thousands of kings, and they were all given wealth and comfortable accommodation. And then when Yudhisthira received everyone. Oh, when the elders of the Kauravas came, Drishtaketu, Bhishma, when they arrived, Yudhisthira bowed down to them, and he offered them everything, all kinds of respect, and they were so happy to see him, to see that the success that he had, even though Dhritarashtra was accomplished to all the atrocities that they did to them. And so Bhishma said, it's great fortune that we get to see this. We get to see this sacrifice. And all right, so then Yudhisthira asked Bhishma and Drona to oversee the organization for the sacrifice. Dushasana was put in charge of food distribution, and Ashvatthama, he was in charge of looking after all the Brahmin guests. Duryodhana was appointed to receive all the gifts that were brought for Yudhisthira. So people brought gifts too for him. Vidura became the master of the treasury. And then, Krishna, he's the one, I thought Yudhisthira, sorry. Krishna, with a desire to gain their blessings, personally undertook the task of washing the Brahmanas' feet as they arrived. Now, we can just imagine the scene. I mean, we've been to sacrifices, and especially, I guess, like in Mayapur, that's the biggest fire yajna I ever saw in Gaur Purnima. They had the Brahmins come from South India, and it's a grand thing. But imagine this, how incredibly grand it is, and how everyone is so nicely dressed, and they have flower garlands, and and just amazing. And then when right before everyone's eyes, Brahma, Shiva, and Indra, they took their places. Then Narada Muni came, and he looked at wonder at all the personalities, and he marveled at how Krishna was actually present there too. And so now at this Rajasuya, that's the inauguration, actually. That's when Yudhisthira is crowned as emperor of the world. And on the final day, the Brahmanas prepared the juice of the soma plant to offer to the great personalities after they're being worshipped. So then Bhishma said, now you may select the most important person. And so Yudhisthira asked his counselors who they thought, and some actually suggested Brahma, Shiva, Vyasadeva, and then Yudhisthira asked Bhishma, who do you think's the best? And Bhishma said, as the sun shines among all luminous objects, so Krishna shines among all kings. He is without doubt the most worthy of the first offering. And then we heard, and Yudhisthira agreed, and then Sahadev, Bhishma instructed him, you should speak now. And he said, we've been hearing this, of course, Emperor Yudhisthira would like to offer the Agra puja to Krishna. Even though the principal gods are present, they are all subordinate to Krishna. He is the ultimate goal of all yogis and ascetics who aim for self-realization. But what need is there for me to speak of his glories? All you exalted personalities are well aware of Krishna's position. Indeed, Krishna is the supersoul of all. Therefore, by satisfying him, we will satisfy all created beings. So, as he was speaking, as we heard, everyone approved and they applauded. And as he was speaking, showers of flowers fell from the sky. And when Yudhisthira actually offered the Arghya and Soma Rasa, now who do we know? Shishupal. He was not very happy to hear this. Krishna was his avowed enemy, and he was seething with anger because we know the main reason he held a lifelong enmity is because he was Rukmi, the brother of Rukmini, had arranged her marriage with Shishupal. We see this is very common, that marriages are arranged for political reasons. So the girl has like no say just because, Rukmi wanted the alliance of Shishupal, who has a powerful army and all, and she was to be married to him, imagine. But anyway, and then Krishna went and kidnapped her upon her request that he come and kidnap her. So he was really upset about that. And so now, that was on her wedding day that she was supposed to be married to Shishupal. And then it was intolerable for him. So we know he jumped up and he roared, surely destiny is supreme. Otherwise, how could this injustice have occurred? How could those present have been influenced by the words of a foolish boy? I cannot agree with Sahadev's statements, right? He's saying, look around, there are so many exalted personalities here who are so much more worthy. He's not even a king. He's only a cowherd man, and we can't even ascertain. And he said, Krishna is not the eldest, not the wisest, not the most powerful. There are so many here way more qualified than him. And said, we thought Yudhisthira was virtuous. That's why we came and paid tribute to him. But that was clearly a mistake. He has insulted us today by worshiping Krishna, who most unrighteously had Jarasandha killed. Now we can see what sort of men are Yudhisthira and his brothers, as well as Bhishma, who has approved of his madness. So now, and then he directly told Krishna, for you, why have you allowed yourself to be worshipped like this? You are exactly like a dog that has stolen the offerings of ghee meant for a sacrifice and is licking them up in solitude. As a wife is to an impotent man, or a beautiful sight to a blind man, so is this worship to you who are not even a king. And so then Shishupal got up, and other kings also were in agreement with him, and they left the assembly. Others left because it was such blasphemy, they didn't want to hear it. So then Bhishma stood up, and he said, he said, as he was walking away, Shishupal, he said, he does not approve of the worship of Krishna, who is the oldest person in the universe, deserves no respect at all. O King of Chedi, we do not worship Krishna out of material motivations. Many times I have heard from those very advanced in knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Person, in whom the universe itself is established. Foolish men like you can never understand this. And then Bhishma went on to describe like how it's so obvious that Krishna is the Supreme Person, and just how even as a child, how he lifted Govardhan Hill, how he, he subdued so many enemies. He even, all of the demons that Kamsa sent, then he even killed Kamsa. And then when Bhishma stopped speaking, Sahadev lifted his left foot. He stood up and said, is there any man here who feels Krishna should not be worshipped? Then let him step forward. I shall place my left foot on his head. So then others said, well spoken. Now, Shishupal now became even more angry, and he turned towards his supporters and said, here I am ready to lead you. Get ready for battle. And so many kings, they had been agitated. Now they're all taking out their weapons, and Yudhisthira's like, what should I do? He's asking Bhishma, I don't want my whole sacrifice ruined by bloodshed, a big battle right here in when the sacrifice is at the end. I don't want it ruined. And then Bhishma just laughed, and he said in a loud voice so Shishupal could hear, he said, you don't have to fear this Shishupal. You don't think he can create any disturbance, because Krishna is here, and he and his supporters are like a pack of dogs barking at a sleeping lion. Only as long as Madhava does not act can they exhibit their valor. He is the creator and destroyer of all beings in the universe. Shishupal has very little intelligence. He will surely take all these kings with him to death's abode. It seems that Krishna now desires to take back to himself the power he gave to Shishupal. That is why the Chedi king's intelligence has become so perverse. So when Shishupal heard that criticism by Bhishma, then he started criticizing Bhishma, the grandsire of the dynasty and the great giver of counsel, and he just started screaming and calling Bhishma a most infamous wretch of your race. And he said, how can you speak like this? And he said that, we know that the reason you never got married is because you're impotent. That's why. And you've given us so much pain describing this of Krishna. And so he went on insulting both Krishna and Bhishma as well. And then Bhima jumped up. His eyes, he has large eyes already, resembling lotus petals. They expanded even further in anger. He was so enraged. And Bhishma had to counsel him. He caught him by the hand, told him, don't fight, just to calm down. So like the ocean, unable to transgress its shores, he couldn't disobey the Kuru elder. And then Shishupal laughed. He said, "Release him, Bhishma. Let all these kings see him burnt down by my prowess, as an insect is destroyed by fire." Now, do you know that when we heard about the curse, so I'll just reiterate, when Shishupal was born, he had 3 eyes and 4 arms. And as soon as he took birth, he screamed and brayed like an ass. And an invisible force from the heavens prophesied that he would grow up powerful and fearless, but that one day he'll be killed by a great hero. So Shishupal's mother, she asked the voice, "Can you tell me who is that hero? Who will it be?" And the voice replied that when the child's extra arms and 3rd eye would disappear when he was placed upon the lap of the person who would one day kill him. So sometime after that, Krishna was visiting, and Shishupal is much younger. So the mother placed the baby Shishupal on Krishna's lap, and right away 2 arms contracted and his 3rd eye disappeared, retracted as well. So she was so horrified to think, Krishna's going to kill my son. And she begged him, "Please grant me a boon." She said, "Please pardon my son. He may commit offenses against you in the future, but I desire his welfare and his long life." And Krishna replied, "O blessed lady, even when Shishupal deserves to be killed, I will forgive him. Indeed, I shall tolerate 100 offenses from him." And then Bhishma said, "This wretch is thus destined to be killed by Krishna. His time has come. Therefore he roars like this, caring nothing for ourselves or the infallible and unknowable Krishna." Why is he saying unknowable? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, we can't. I thought he was saying Krishna's unknowable. We can't know Krishna as he is, the unknowable Krishna. A man on the verge of death loses his senses and will say anything. And then, so then again, Shishupal attacked Bhishma, and Bhishma waited for him to finish very calmly. And he said, "There'll never be an end to these arguments, for words may always be answered with words. Here is Govinda. Let anyone who opposes him stand before him now in battle." So Shishupal roared like an enraged lion. And then Krishna spoke so that everyone could hear. "This cruel-hearted man is my aunt's son, yet he always wishes me and my relatives ill. Once when I was away from Dwarka, he came and set fire to my city. He killed many citizens and took away many more in chains. This wretch even stole saintly Akrura's wife. On another occasion, cunningly disguising himself, he ravished the princess of Vishal, who was the intended bride of the Kurusha king. Obviously desiring a speedy death, he even tried to possess the chaste Rukmini. He said, "So I have tolerated all of these offenses." Imagine setting fire and killing the residents of Dwarka. "But I promise to bear only 100 insults. The number has now become full. I shall therefore slay Shishupal in your presence. But I'm not going to spoil it because we still have, in our Srimad Bhagavatam class, we still have more of Shishupal's insults to hear. And so I don't want to spoil the end, although most of you already know. But I love this image, this picture, that Krishna thought of the Sudarshan. He only thought of it. It appeared in his hand, and he raised it up. But that's all we can say, right? But it's just think of the picture, like just that most beautiful, heroic, and like that image of Krishna. It's so very beautiful, like how extremely powerful he is, and how everything is so easily accomplished. So the verse today is all about how Krishna's beyond this. Do you know that we've heard, like in the heavenly realm as well, they have different laws. Like we have laws of civility, laws of etiquette, but like in the heavenly kingdom, imagine Arjuna. It says that also, that I read yesterday in our 4th Canto Bhagavatam, that Yudhisthira and Arjuna went to celestial realms. We know how Arjuna went. I never heard of Yudhisthira going. Anybody else? But it says that in the purport. So when Arjuna went, he went to get weapons from the demigods, especially his father Indra, and the demigods gave him celestial weapons, and he stayed there for a while. That's how he learned the art of dance and music, so that he can use it in the 13th year of exile. But while he was there, like Indra, he's a great devotee and a sense gratifier. And because of his own desires for sense gratification, he sent Urvasi. He saw Krishna's watching her dance. Arjuna was watching her dance because he's learning the art of dance and music. And so Indra saw, he must really be attracted to her. So he told Urvasi, she's a heavenly prostitute, like extremely beautiful. And he sent her to Arjuna. And so she knocks on the door, and Arjuna's like, how may I serve you? And she said, I've come to serve you. And he said, oh, no, because you're like my mother, because, you are my father's, like he enjoys her. So I wouldn't do that. Plus, Arjuna would only consort with wives who he married. He had 4 wives. And so she said, but that doesn't apply here. This is heaven. We don't have those rules that you have on earth. So you don't have to be married, and that's okay. And he said, sorry, I won't. Thanks for the offer, but no thanks. And that's when she cursed him, that for 1 year he'll be a eunuch. But you see how, and then somebody told him, one of the great sages, that this will serve you. This is great that you'll be a eunuch, the third sex, they call it, for 1 year. So that's what he did in the 3rd year of incognito, in exile, in the palace of Virat. He became the instructor of dance and music, and to Uttara, the daughter of King Virat. And the thing is, first of all, when he offered that service to the king, he said, okay, first you have to go to the women. They're going to test you. They're going to see if you're eligible to be with my young daughter and the other young ladies in the palace. So they certified that he's bona fide. So I say all these sannyas, they have nominations. They have to ask the women, are these men qualified to be sannyas? Because women can tell. So, and so they definitely should consider that, like King Virat did. They'll go and test you, test to see that he's not attracted to them in any lustful way, that he was totally, he's like another girl. Like we all know homosexuals, like I remember somewhere, another temple I lived at, And someone said, how come he always gets to hang out with the ladies? I said, because he's like a lady, because he's gay, and we don't feel any threat from him at all. And he likes things that girls like. You know, he was a great pujari and very good at the arts and things like that. So, but being of the third sex, so that's, yeah. All right, so we see, and also, anyone remember the story of Gautama? There was something, Gautama, somebody violated his wife. Yeah, you know the story? I forgot. What? And, oh, yeah, that's, is that Gautama? Okay, there was someone else too in the ninth canto. But anyway, they say, like, they are beyond the restrictions that we have here. Like even you know, legally, there's legal restrictions. But anyway, so are there any comments or questions before, I think it's already time, right? Right. Right, so Trista Prabhu is saying, yeah, how Shishupal, he's just a mortal. He's not beyond, you know, the laws of this world. So he should have got it earlier, but Krishna kept his promise, 100 insults that he would tolerate and all. Okay, all glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Lord Sri Krishna. Really, thank you. Oh, I'll leave this on because you'll be using it.
No, I actually got to turn it off. It interferes with that, yeah.
Okay.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Aravindanalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Hari Hari Vipale Janama Gonainu Janama Gonainu Manusha Janama Baya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Shajanama Baya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya Janiya Shuniya Visha Kainu Yashuniya Visha Janiya Shunya Vishakainu Yavishakai Golokera Brahmandana Harinama Sankirtana Dana Harinama Sankirtana Ratina Jani Lokene Jaya Lokene Jaya Samsara Vishanale Divanishi Ajvale Samsara Vishanale Divanishi Ajvale Judaite Nakoinu Paya Oinu Pa Judaite Nakoinu Paya Brajendra Nandanaye Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Sachi Sutta Hoilo Se Balarama Hoilo Nitai Balarama Hoilo Nitai Dinahina Yatta Chilo Harinama Udarilo Dari Shakshay Jaganadai Haha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vishabhanu Sutta Yutta Karuna Koro Hai Baro Narottama Dasakaya Natalie Horangabaya Toma Bineke Achea Ambara Toma Bineke Achea Ambara Hari Hari Vipale Janamagonainu. Hari Hari Vipale Janamagonainu. Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. O Lord Hari, I have wasted my life. Although I have taken this rare human birth, I have not served Radha and Krishna, and thus I have knowingly drunk poison. The treasure of divine love in Goloka Vrindavan had descended at the congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy names. Why did my attraction for that chanting never come about? Day and night my heart burns in the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not accepted the means for relieving it. Lord Krishna, the son of the king of Braja, became the son of Sachi, and Balaram became Nitai. The holy name delivered all those souls who were lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagai and Madhai, are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Rishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottama Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? Srila Narottama Das Thakur ki jai. Cheto darpana marjanam, bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam, Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnam Niswadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Padam Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarniyami amitas manane nakala Eta drisita vakripan bhagavan mamapi Durdaiva midrishani haganina nuraga Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi shahishnuna Amanina Amanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari
Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha, kribaya davabada bankaja, stita duli shajishim vachintaya, nayanam gadashru daraya, varanam gad gadarudaya gira, pulakarnishitam vabukada, tavanamagrahane vishyati, yugayatam namishena, chakshusha pravashayatam, shunayatam jagat sarvam, govindam virahena me, ashlisharam, astumam, adarshanam marmahatakarotuva, yatatatava vidadatu lampato, mat prananatastusa eva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than a straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Sri Shastra Ki Jai. Thank you, Sundari Radha, for dressing Sri Sri Radha Golokananda so beautifully. Nice flowers, nice mix of gardenias and marigolds, so much opulent flower